Holy shit, dude. That's insane. What's up, guys? Welcome to my first auto vlog. Essentially, it's just gonna be me driving around, talking about different topics, you know, pop culture, driving, other drivers. I'm, for some reason, a magnet for bad drivers, I guess. I don't know why, but cars around me tend to drive absolutely horribly. And even my girlfriend noticed where she notices a big difference of when she drives and when I drive, like when she's driving with me. And she always notices other people just driving like absolute garbage. And now I feel like now that I said that, I'm gonna jinx myself and nothing's ever gonna happen on camera. I'm essentially a very chill dude. I'm happy, you know, I'm chill at home. I'm not overly expressive or overly emotional, except when I drive. I get pissed off at other drivers. Like my biggest pet peeves are always from driving. Like people not using their signal, for example, their turn signals. People camping out in the passing lane, cutting me off, just things like that. Like, especially because like I'm always on the go. I'm always go. I do a lot of things throughout the day. You know, I have a full-time job, do some freelance work. I'm also a coach and I train. I go to the gym, hang out with my girlfriend and hang out with my dogs. So I try to do a lot, you know, I do a lot. So I'm always on the go. And when I'm trying to get somewhere, I'm trying to get there quick. I feel like other people are just out to get you. Always. It's always when you're in a hurry to get somewhere is when people are out to get you and make you feel slow. But anyway, this first video, we're starting off with a bang because I don't know if you guys saw. My goodness, have you guys seen this video right here? Holy shit, dude, that's insane. This happened in Popayan, Colombia, I think. People camping out in the passing lane. I guess they weren't really camping out, they were just going slow. If cars are passing you on your right side, you're going way too slow. Anyway, that monster truck show down in Colombia was a disaster. Holy shit, that was insane. Never would I have ever thought I would see a monster truck actually run over people and essentially live up to its name of being a monster. Like that's crazy. But I guess you can't necessarily put the driver at fault, or at least not 100% at fault, because machines, what's it called when they glitch? Machines glitch, right? They don't always do what they're supposed to do. My Jeep, for example, I love my Jeep, but my Jeep is kind of a piece of crap. It malfunctions quite a bit, and so we can't rely 100% on machinery. From what it looked like, there was an angle of the video where it looked like there was fire that just kind of burst, you know, from under the cabin in between the two back wheels. So I don't know if there was actually flames there or if it was just like a reflection of the sun or something, but it kind of looked like flames. So maybe the drive shaft gave away, or the drive shaft lost control. It couldn't stop. Maybe the brakes didn't work, or maybe she panicked. You know, maybe she panicked and she hit the wrong brake. But also, I think the majority of the fault is on the promoters. How can you possibly think it's okay to have monster trucks and people right next to each other with barely the flimsiest little fence of a barrier, the tiniest little thing that, you know, a little kid can knock over? Like, what makes you think that's safe enough for monster trucks and people to be ground level with each other? Like, that's insane. My girlfriend and I went to Monster Jam a few months ago, and we were nowhere near those monsters. You couldn't even like jump the fence. If you jump the fence, it's still a good, you know, 15-foot fall, 20 foot fall, maybe even more than that. I don't know, it was kind of high up, but we couldn't even get close, let alone ground level with monster trucks. So the safety is 100% on the promoter. Whoever decided that was a good idea, like that blood is on their hands. That's just insane to me to think that event even happened. Like, I still can't believe, you know, people looked at that saw those barriers, you know, the flimsy little 4-foot fences, and thought, yeah, this is good. Sue the absolute living shit out of that promoter, out of that company, out of those, you know, people who ran that show. Like, sue the living daylights out of them. Like, make them go bankrupt and beyond bankrupt. Like, that's insane. I just saw my first set of Waymos. We have not had Waymo here in San Diego. I am in San Diego. I saw a post recently that mentioned we are going to get Waymos here in San Diego pretty soon, and I saw 2 of them just a bit ago. I did not have the camera on, but I saw two minivans with, like, I guess cameras and like these whirling things above it, gyroscopes, little satellites. They were all teal, and when I got closer, it said Waymo. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So yeah, I don't know how I feel about Waymo. I don't know how if I can trust a Waymo, because we were just talking about it a little bit ago, like with the monster trucks. You know, machinery can malfunction, and machinery can malfunction quite often. It's not something you can rely on. Like, driving alone, like driving itself already is pretty dangerous, right? We're driving around going 65, 70, 80 miles per hour in 2,000-pound vehicles, right? That was a quick light. What happened there? Little accidents, even at 30 miles an hour, right, can cause a lot of damage. It can, you know, could even kill someone. So having, you know, not having that human instinct, that human intuition behind the wheel is a little bit frightening and hard to trust, I guess. But when I was talking about it with my friends just now, they were saying, it's like, well, can you fully trust a human? No, but you kind of, I guess you trust them to make the right decision when, you know, when something happens on the road. So, you know, and it's like, obviously we're talking about, like, obviously you can't fully trust a person because there's always that chance that that person is a murdering psychopath. There's always that chance that that person, oh Jesus, I don't know if you guys saw that, but speaking of malfunctioning, my fuel pump is going bad. So anytime my gas tank gets around a quarter tank, it starts to like flutter. So I gotta get the fuel tank replaced. I gotta get the differential fixed, and yeah, I just haven't had time to do it. There's always that chance of the driver being, you know, a psychopath, you know, and that he can turn around and kill you at any moment. But we rely on that, you know, the good morality of people, right? The odds of that happening is very low compared to a piece of machinery, you know, malfunctioning while you're in it, going 40 miles an hour on a road or something. You know, I don't even know if Waymos can go on the freeway. I don't think they can go on the freeway. You know, and if something happens, you know, right in front of you, is that Waymo going to be able to react quick enough? There's always that question, that wonder, I guess. Is it good enough? You know, can I put my life in the hands, so to speak, of a Waymo car? Yeah, I'm a little iffy with it. So circling back to malfunctioning and literally my Jeep malfunctioning right there. And I don't know if you can hear that click. Every time I accelerate, there's clicking. Number one, my fuel pump isn't working very well. I have a secondary fuel pump because my gas tank, is kind of like an upside down U shape, right? Because it goes around the drive shaft. It goes up and over the drive shaft. Half the tank is on the right, half the tank is on the left. In order for it to work, there's a fuel pump that delivers all the fuel forward into the engine, right? There's a secondary fuel pump that goes from the right side, pumps it into the left side, and then the main pump pumping it to the engine. Well, the secondary fuel pump isn't working. So it's not pumping gas from the right to the left, and kind of leaving me stranded sometimes, I guess. My car turned off on me twice the other day while I was driving. It just kind of died. So I have that to deal with. This is an not early, I guess. It's a 2013 Jeep, right? I have a Grand Cherokee. I love this car. It is a beautiful car. It is the Grand Cherokee Trailhawk 4x4, right? So it is Jeep's 4x4 package, right? Every company has their own like off-road package where like Toyota has, you know, TRD Pro, TRD Off-Road. You know, Nissan has Nismo, which works for both motorsports and off-road. Honda has the Trail Sport. Well, this is the Trailhawk. It's all black with red trim. You know, I've kept it as nice as I can. I've had it for 4 years. It's got a 2-inch lift on Old Man Emu suspension. It's got 18-inch wheels, big tires, right? The wheels are offset a little bit, so the tires kind of pop out. So it's a beautiful car, right? I like it a lot. But this car, I've had it for almost 4 years. And in those 4 years, I've had more issues with this car than I've had any other car put together, right? I've had several cars. The next car that came closest to having this many issues was an old Honda Accord that I got, you know, at the end of high school, right? I blew the piston rings on that thing. It kept burning oil like crazy, and that's because I drove like I was Brian O'Connor in Fast and the Furious, right? I freaking decked that thing out, right? It looked fast, but it wasn't fast. Everything done on it was cosmetically. I didn't really do much to it mechanically. It had it had an exhaust, it had headers, and it had an intake, and that's it. And it was a 4-cylinder, so it wasn't very fast, but it looked cool, and I drove it to the ground. So I ended up blowing my piston rings and just burning gas, like, or not gas, but burning oil like crazy. This car, the differential is messed up, right? The fuel pump is messed up. Suspension popped on me a while ago. It was leaking coolant into the engine, right? So the head gasket, right? The head gasket kept tearing, and it kept leaking coolant into the pistons. And we opened up, you know, we opened up the blocks, and the piston, one of the pistons, I think it was piston 4, was completely clean, right? Which is a huge indication of coolant leaking into the pistons, right? Because the fumes from the coolant is just cleaning out, you know, the pistons, while all the other pistons were dirty and full of oil and stuff like that. So yeah, man, this thing has been giving me issues pretty much ever since I've gotten it. So I love this Jeep. It's a beautiful car, but I don't recommend it. I've had Japanese cars pretty much ever since this car. This is the first US made car I've ever had, and it's the most problematic car of all my cars. So after this, I'm gonna keep this for as long as I can. After this, I want to go to maybe the 4Runner, but the 4Runner is becoming a little overplayed, so I kind of want to go with the new Honda Passport. I don't know if you guys have seen the brand new 2026 Passport Trail Sport, but that thing is beautiful. I like it. I like the orange, but I like the green better. The stitching is nice. I like the orange trim, so the green Passport with the orange trim would be fantastic. Lifted a little bit. So I'm just gonna deal with this one for as long as I can. Get the issues fixed, you know, as soon as possible. And there it goes. This Jeep is fluttering in me right now. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it is fluttering. With that being said, I am reaching the end of my journey for today. I thank you guys for watching, for joining me for my first auto vlog. I appreciate you guys, for all of those that you came and watched and stuck around. I appreciate it. If you can, give it a like, give it a subscribe. It would help me out a lot. And you know, I had fun. This was a good first vlog experience. I've had a couple vlogs before, completely different subject, and it was a long time ago, and I thought I'd get back into it. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you for watching, for those of you that did, and I'll see you guys next time. See ya.